Hello AQA students, what an awesome video this is for you guys. We're looking at hot topics for paper 1. Your job is to make sure that for these topics you're a master of the theory, but also where I'm going to give you context, you want to make sure you can confidently apply that context to the theory that you're learning. So an extra 5-10% of your time should be devoted to these topic areas. If they do feature, you're going to be in a great place rocking those essays when they feature in paper 1 this year, but knowing you're not going to be disregarding everything else that the previous information has told you to revise, so you're set both ways. Hopefully these topic areas do feature, in which case you're going to be brilliant in your exam if you're giving an extra bit of weight towards these topic areas. And also guys, make sure that you're watching all the content videos on the channel, of course, but also make sure guys that you are watching my exam technique videos for AQA. A lot of students don't know I have a specialized AQA exam technique playlist for all the questions across all 3 papers. I've given you the exam technique you need. Check those out if you haven't already, and make sure you're watching all the videos in my revision for exams 2022 playlist. This is one video in that playlist, but there are many others geared towards helping you smash those final exams. Of course, make sure you're subscribed to the channel too, so that you don't miss out on more videos like this one that will come for your final exams this year. So let's crack on. What are some major hot topics to be prepared for paper 1 this year? Well, market failure is a massive topic area. I'm expecting it to be a big 25 marker this year. Now, when these questions come up, market failure oriented 25 markers, they're often linked to themes in the UK or global themes. So what you guys want to make sure you're doing is that you're not just revising market failure abstractly, not just the theory. You want to be revising your theory, but linked to key context. So what could the context be this year? What could the themes be this year? Well, it's about time AQA go down the positive externality route or the public goods route. That's what I've got my eye on this year, that's for sure. So I'm thinking, well, state provision, a major theme, whether state provision of healthcare is the most effective way to allocate resources towards healthcare. It's been hotly debated, state provision for the NHS in the UK. So know your state provision linking to healthcare very well. On the public goods side, is state provision of flood defences really the most effective way of allocating flood defences in a flood-prone country like the UK? We've had major issues with flooding recently. Flood defences are kind of working, but not fully. We don't have full coverage. So knowing about state provision for flood defences, knowing about alternative options as well, is just a very interesting market failure to give extra weight to. Still with positive externalities on that side, what about tuition fees? Is that the most effective policy for funding higher education? Again, hotly debated. Just make sure you know about those contexts well. You know what the market failures are. You can apply policy solutions to those respective market failures. On the negative externality side or demerit goods side, we can talk about alcohol minimum pricing and how in 2018 it started with Scotland, the first country that I know of globally that implemented a minimum price to deal with a demerit good market failure. Before that, many examples of minimum prices to help producers deal with price volatility, but very few examples, if any, of minimum prices to deal with demerit good and negative externality related market failure. Scotland started in 2018, Wales followed with their own minimum price on alcohol in 2020, and as of January this year, the Republic of Ireland have also come out with their own minimum price on alcohol as well. So know a bit about that. A lot of information already about how it's been working in Scotland and Wales, and just know your minimum price theory very well, linking to that case study. And lastly, subsidy cuts. Over the last few years, we've seen cuts to subsidies for solar panels and electric cars. Might seem a bit counterintuitive, so understand why the UK government have done that, what the intentions are, what they're going for. Could be an interesting question if that one came up for sure. But market failure, a huge one to give extra weight to in your revision for paper 1, that's for sure. Next, you need to know your market structures inside out. This is a massive topic area for paper 1. You must specialize in it, give an extra bit of weight towards your market structures. We're talking really monopoly, oligopoly, and contestable markets have been very strongly hinted at given the pre-release information. So for these market structures, know your characteristics very well, know your diagrams inside out, because your diagrams will tell you how firms in these market structures are behaving, the prices they're charging, the quantities they're producing, the profits that are being made, and then of course, you need to know your pros and cons of those market structures very well too, ready for a big 25 marker if that's where AQA go this year. My videos on the market structures will sort you out perfectly, but those 3 you want to weigh up more so, that is for sure. Then you want want to know your objectives of firms inside out, this is an AQA favorite topic area, again, has been referred to in the pre-release information. Watch my video on objectives of firms. Everything you need to know is in there and you'll be well set. But also technological change, an area that's normally very heavily under-revised by students, but that could be linked to so many other topic areas in the pre-release for paper 1. So know that well. Again, I have a strong video on tech change. Watch that and you'll be absolutely fine. Now, a major hot topic, so heavily under-revised by students, but AQA love to ask big questions on it, is the topic area of monopoly regulation, privatization, deregulation, and nationalization. 4 unique policies here, 4 potential 25-mark topic areas too. You need to make sure you know what these policies are. You need to make sure you know what the pros and cons of these policies are so you can write essays about them very confidently. This is often what AQA do, you know. It's a topic area that comes after market structures. So these policies are there to improve market structures that are not working very efficiently. So know these policies, know the pros and cons, but also be aware of contexts, of themes that AQA could link these policies to. So for example, the energy price cap is one example of a monopoly regulation. It's been hotly talked about, not just recently because of the gas crisis we're going through in the UK. It's been talked about hotly really since it was introduced in 2018. So know a bit about that policy, how it's been introduced, what the intentions are. Then you're set in case AQA go this way and ask you a question about it. Maybe it's got context already linked to it in Section A, Paper 1, but you're already aware of some of the basics of that policy. Also, bear in mind the Asda-Sainsbury's proposed merger in 2019. This was a mega merger that was proposed between these two supermarkets. In the end, it was blocked on the grounds of going against the public interest by the Competition and Markets Authority, the CMA. So get into that case study, a fascinating case study. You never know, AQA could latch onto that and ask you a 25-marker linked to that or some kind of question linked to that for sure. But also, when we talk about privatization, deregulation, nationalization, a lot of nationalization themes recently. Whether the steel industry in the UK needs to be nationalized, water nationalization, as well as a variety of other industries. The Labour Party in particular are saying should be nationalized. So just know nationalization, the pros and cons, be confident to link those pros and cons to those contexts. But don't forget your privatization and deregulation as well. This topic area, monopoly regulation, privatization, deregulation, nationalization, so under-revised. Just make sure you revise it well. It's a hot topic for sure. And lastly, guys, know your labor market and income inequality topics inside out. On the labor market side, the major theme at the moment is with trade unions and how membership of trade unions has been slowing down considerably over the last few decades, and how really during the pandemic, a lack of membership of trade unions made things worse for a lot of workers. And you could argue it's been one reason why inequality has increased over the last couple of years, for sure. So slowing membership or declining membership of trade unions is a major theme in the UK, that's for sure. Examiners can latch onto that and ask you a question, whether that's in the interests of the UK economy or whether that's a concern for the UK economy. Also, flexible labour markets, again, the rise of the gig economy, concerns with that, the need for greater regulation of flexible labour markets. Look what's been happening with Uber and how they treat their drivers and how there needs to be more regulation of that to help drivers out. There's just one context for you. But also wage differentials, an AQA favourite topic area. They've done many. The one differential that's been left so far is regional wage differentials in the UK, regional inequality. So know why there is a regional pay gap in this country and also what policies maybe could be used to bring that differential down. On the inequality side, really interesting recently is how policies like universal basic income and wealth tax have been discussed. So as well as your traditional policies to reduce income inequality, bear in mind those two more unique ones that have been hotly debated over the last few years in the UK too. So that, guys, then covers all the major hot topic areas for AQA Paper 1 this year. Like I said at the start, make sure you know your theory inside out, and for the context, make sure you can apply those contexts to the theory that you're learning. If these questions do come up this year, you're absolutely going to rock them now if you take this guidance on board. So thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for a lot more. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so that you know when new videos are uploaded, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you so much, guys. See you soon.